Hi there, welcome to QA Box Let's Test, and this video we are going to learn how to create custom commands in Cypress. So what is a custom command? So let's imagine it like this. So there are 10 test cases and each test cases has a prerequisite to log in into the application. And in login, we know that we have to identify, let's say the username field, we have to type data into that. We have to identify the password field, we have to type data into that. And we have to click on the submit button. So these are the few steps that are engaged into login in process. So would you like to repeat the same step for each and every test case? No, you're not going to do it like this. So what are you going to do? You're going to create a custom command. The advantage of creating custom command is that tomorrow if anything changes, right, you need to just update it at one place, means in your custom command. All right, so that enhances the maintainability of your project, right? That reduces the maintenance cost that is associated with every development effort. All right, so what are the different type of commands we can create? So in Cypress, basically there are three type of commands that are available, right? That are available at either the Cypress object or at the Cy object. These are the global objects. Now, can we add our custom commands to these global objects? Yes, we can. We can add our custom commands to these global objects. So we are going to add the custom commands to the Cy object, CY object. And we are going to see how can we create those three type of commands. So these three type of commands are parent commands, child commands, and dual commands. So what are parent commands? So we have been using this cy.visit, cy.get, cy.request. These are all parent command because they always begin a new chain of commands. Okay. Then child command are like your click, trigger, find, because child command is always chained off of a parent command or another child command. And dual command is something like the contains. Okay. So we can identify the element like this cy.contains, or we can say cy.get. We identify the collection, and in on that collection then we apply the contains command. So dual command can either start a chain of command or be chained off of an existing one. Okay, so we are going to create all these three type of commands. So now custom command, this is the API that is available for us. So at this Cypress object we have this commands object, and then further we have this add method. So with the help of this add method we can create our custom commands. So this is the command through which we can create our custom commands. We can add and we can override. In this video we are going to work on adding the new custom commands, and these are the two different versions that are available. In the first one you have to pass in two arguments. In the second one you have to pass in three arguments. So name is the name of the command. Okay, then callback is when you invoke this command, what do you want to do? Okay, the logic has to go inside this callback function. And what is this option? So let us look at this. So for options, right, we just have this one option that is available, previous subject, and it accepts boolean, string, or array, and it has the default value of false. Okay, so we are going to see all these. Then in here you could see, in addition to controlling the command implicit behavior, you can also add declarative subject validation such as, so previous subject, what is the type of the previous subject besides this boolean, string, and array. The previously yielded subject is element, the previously yielded subject is document, or it could be a windows. Okay, so let's now move on to the coding part and see that. So in here, where do we have to write the custom commands? So we have to write the custom commands inside the commands.js file, which you will find under the support folder. Okay, and let us open this index.js for a minute, and you see that the first thing that we are doing in here is we're importing all the commands. So before your test cases are being executed, by this particular line, what we are ensuring is that all these commands are accessible to all the test cases before they start getting executed. Okay, and so we are importing everything in the file, in this index.js file, using this command. All right, let's close this now. So there are 7 test cases that we are going to execute, which means that we are going to create 7 custom commands in this video. First one is the parent custom command. So as you could see, the parent command is attached to the Cy object, and the name of the command is p channel name, and I'm passing in an argument to this command. Okay, so this is like a method and I have to pass in an argument, but currently this particular command is not created. So if I run my test case at this moment, I have to change it to only, and if I execute this test case, I'm definitely going to get an error. So as you could see, cy.p channel name is not defined. So let's start adding those custom commands. And this is of what? This is of parent type. Okay. So the APIs that we have to use is Cypress.Commands.add. And for parent command, we have to pass in two arguments, the name, okay, and the callback function. So this would be the syntax of it. Okay, so the name is definitely this. So let me copy it from here. And as you could see that I have to pass in an argument. So I'm just going to give it this. So this is the name of the argument. And all I'm going to do is cy.log. Okay, I don't want to open console. I would like to show the result on the Cypress command section. So all I'm going to do in here is name. Now let us save this file, okay, and rerun our test case. Alright, so now you see that QA box let's test hyphen parent command is being logged to the command section. Okay, so now this command is available. It's that simple. Okay, alright, so next is let's create a child command. Okay, so now the child command that we have to create is this. Okay, so if I run this test case again, it would fail. So I'm not going to cover that step because you know it is going to fail now. So let us start creating that. And of course, let us take a copy of it and let us see how to create a child command. And the name is this. Okay. Now to create a child command, you have to have the previous subject. Okay. And now all you have to do is you have to inject in one more argument in here, and in here you're going to say previous subject, and you know that we can set string, we can set arrays, we can set boolean. So we'll start with boolean. By default we saw that this value is set to false. Now it is set to true, so this is going to act as a child command. And in here you could clearly see that I have this cy.wrap, and after that I'm invoking this command. Okay, so what to do now? It's very simple. So instead of this name, let me give it name previous subject. So this is the callback function. Okay, and what we are doing is we are passing in the previously yielded subject to this callback function, and that is the name of the previously yielded subject. And all we now want to do in here is, let's say, priv subject. Okay, so let us save this. And in here now we have to provide in a Cypress chainable object. So this will return us this string, right, once this command is resolved. And then we are passing in that value, right, this particular string, to CS channel name. And this time we'll see QA box list is hyphen child command. And let us skip this and re-execute this. I just want to see only one. So you could see we are logging this QA box let's test child command. So this is the thing that is being executed. Okay, all right. So this is also simple, right? But in UI automation, we interact with the element, isn't it? So let's see how we can change this command to interact with the element and not with the string part. So what is the name of the command? The name of the command is CE channel name. Okay, and this time the subject that would be yielded would be, and you have all these different options. So let us select element in here. Okay, and now all I want to do is let's say I want to identify the number of such elements on that web page. Okay, so I'm just logging the length of that element. Okay, so let me just save it and I come in here, and what we are doing, we are launching what? We are launching google.com. Okay, and then we are identifying all the input types. Okay, and now this command is going to return me the number of input elements available on google.com. So in the command log, when you run this command, you will see the number right on the right hand side that hey, I identified these many inputs, and this command is simply going to log that in the command log itself, right? So we are going to match two numbers and say okay whether it's working or not. So let me save both of these and run it. Okay, so it's launching google.com. Okay, so you see cy.getInput gave us like 8 matched element, and we have now logged those in here with the help of this custom command. Okay, now the next one is the dual custom command. Okay, how to create the dual custom command. So I'm going to simply copy this and come in here. Okay, and the name I have to give it to this command is cd channel name. And now uh, we have this element, but if I have to make this as a dual command, I have to change it to optional. Okay, so like this. Now this can either initiate the chain or can attach it to the existing uh, element, something like this. So here it's behaving like a child command. In the other line, it is behaving like a parent command. All right. So now we have to execute this test case. So how am I going to handle both the cases in here? All I'm going to say is if. Okay, I say if the previously yielded subject is not undefined. Okay, then do this. Else we are simply going to say else. Let us do something in here as well. We say cy.log and we just say welcome to QA box, let's test. Okay, so if we pass in an element, if we make it as, if we use it as a child command, we'll get the number of input elements. Else we'll see what? Welcome to QA box, let's test. So I'm using it both the ways in this test case. So let me save everything. I hope the syntax and everything is correct. Let us now go in here. So we should see 8, alright, because this is a chained one. And now this is a fresh start, means a parent one. So I see both of these. So I can use the same command in both the ways. Very nice. Now, this far we have understood the concept. Just one more thing before we move on. So what we can also do is in here, right, we can pass in windows and we can pass in documents, and we can also pass in arrays. So if you have to pass in array, all you have to do is something like this. Okay, now you can pass in more values in here like window and document. Okay, that's how we are going to use the array syntax. Fine. So I'm going to remove this. And now let's see some realistic examples. So we have to identify the text of the elements, right? So let us write a command to identify the text of the element. Okay. So in here, I'm going to write the text, and the syntax is first of all pretty much the same. Okay. So you see I'm using it as a child command. So I'm first finding that element and then I'm fetching the value of it. And of course everything is a promise in Cypress, right? So and then we are simply, once this promise is resolved, I'm going to log the text of that element. Okay, let's create that. Okay, the previous subject has to be an element, that's correct. Okay, and all we are going to do is we are going to now see there are different ways. Let's understand this concept. So you can say return, okay, and you can say prev subject dot text method will give you the text of that element, isn't it? Yeah, simple. And the name of the command is, I guess, getText. Let's copy that, put it here. better at type getText. Okay, so this way I can return things from this command. Alright, let me save it and I come in here. This is one way of returning the things, and C is not a function, definitely. It is not C. Copy paste error. Please excuse me for that. Let's execute this. So I'm going to fetch this value, India, and it's timed out. So it's never found it. Amazing. Let us run this again. Should not be the case. Okay, so now you see we are able to retrieve that value or retrieve the text from this particular element. All right. Let me show you one more way. So I just comment this out, and what you can also do is you can say cy.wrap. If you use the Cypress commands, they automatically returns you the chainable object, the jQuery chainable object, right? So then you don't need to use return, and all you could do is just copy this thing in here and put it inside like this. Okay, all right. So now this is the thing. So you know the return way as well, and you know this as well. Okay, and if I just save it and rerun the test case, yeah, it works. And this time you could see it wraps in here and then logs. So first this one is being shown in here, and then it is being logged from this command. Okay, so what else do we have? So we want to retrieve the cell value from a table. Okay, let's see that. So I have created this function getCellValue, and I want to fetch the value from second row and third column. Okay, and then I just want to simply log that value. So I'll show you the application that we are going to use. So this is the table on which we are going to work, which has got this ID table1. So the command is, we are now going to make this as a, if you could see, this is a parent command. Okay, so either you could remove this thing completely, or you could just set it to false, which is the same thing, because by default the value is false. But why to keep any additional things in here? So let us remove everything, and in here we are going to pass in the row and column, because we don't want to hard code the row and column. We want the user to have full control over this command. So whatever row and column they pass in, depending upon that, we are going to simply return the value. Okay, and the name of the function is this. So let us create this function now. Okay, so we are going to say cy.get. Let us write the CSS selector for that. So this is a table which has got the ID like this. So we're going to say table, and for ID we have hash. Okay, so I'm able to identify this. Now in this table, there is a table head and there is a table body. So I want the direct child of this. So I'll say table body, t body. Okay, now I want the information from rows and columns. So I again say tr, but this time I'll say nth child. And in here, let's say I want to fetch it from the first rows. Okay, now I have access to the first row. And now I want the columns, right? So I say td, and I again say nth child, and I pass in, let's say, 3. Okay, so it is going to give me this email ID. Let me just copy everything from here and go in here, and let me use the string literal syntax, because we are going to provide this row and column from the arguments. Okay, so we are here going to replace this with this particular syntax. Okay, and this to column, right? So we are able to access that value. Now what's next? Then we are going to use the then method in here. Okay, and we are going to say then. This is going to give us that cell. Okay, and all we want to now do is write that callback, and we know we can use cy.wrap. Okay, so I'm going to use cy.wrap, and all I now need is el.text. Okay, so now my command is ready. Okay, and I hope this should work, and this should be able to give me the value from that cell logged on the command log. So let me save this and let us change this to only and execute this. Okay, it's doing something. Okay, great. So we are able to fetch that value. All right, from the second row and the third column. So this is my first row, this is my second row, first column, second column, third column. This is the value that is printed in here. Let's check it for some more values. So let's say 3 and I just say 5. Let me run this. So 1, 2, and 3. So this row, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this one should get printed. And yes, it is. So yes, we are able to complete this as well. And next one is the frame. And let me show you the example what we trying to achieve in this. So this is the thing. This is inside a frame. As you could see, the frame ID is in here. Okay, and then we have this body, and we have to type directly into the body. Okay, now this is an iframe. So I'm going to create a child command. So basically, we have to first identify this command. As you could see, we have to identify this frame, and then we are going to write this command frame, and this frame is going to return us the body, right? And then simply, I mean, we are going to clear this out because there is some text in here, your content. So we have to clear that out, and I'm just simply going to pass in QA box. This is child command. Okay, but first of all, we have to create that command. All right, now let us create that command. And let me get rid of all of this, because in here we have to use a different concept, or I'll say a new concept we have to learn. The name of the command is frame. Okay, and since this is a child command, okay, so we have to use the previous subject option in here. So let me just insert that in the middle, and we just say previous subject, and that has to be set to what element. Okay, so this much is done, and then this is going to return me the previous subject is an iframe. So can I say it iframe? But the thing is, in here we have to whenever we talk about a frame is like a document. So there's a function that we have to use, which is ready. What ready does it, I've already explained in some of the videos that it waits for the DOM to be ready. All right, so basically we have to wait for that to happen, and therefore we have to make use of Cypress promise to make this command sound and solid, so that it works every time. So we have to use this Cypress.promise in here. And what it does, it when we use Cypress.promise to create promises, Cypress is, as you know, promise aware. So if you return a promise from inside of the commands like this, Cypress will not continue until those promises are resolved. So this is what we want. We want for that frame document to be loaded. So then how are we going to do that? So this is a syntax that we have to use, and in here we have resolve and reject. So these are the methods. So in our case we just need the resolve one. So I'm just going to take a copy of it from here, and I'm simply going to remove this. Okay, and now the function that I was talking about is, I just say frame. Okay, and then ready. Once this is ready, then I want to invoke that callback function. Okay, and in here now it's simple that what I have to do is I have to invoke this resolve method, and I'm going to pass in the body now. So I just say iframe dot we have already covered that in our iframe video. So we have this contents, and then we can do like find body. Okay, so this will return me body. Okay, so now this method is ready. Okay, and this is how we have to create it. And let us change this to only and run it. Whether are we able to enter into this or not? Great. So we are able to enter data into it. So this is how you can add new command. You also have the option of overwrite, but yeah, it's up to you whether you want to do it or not. I'm fine with adding new commands like these, right? So that anytime there's a change, right, I just come in to this one single place and update it. Okay, that makes my code look cleaner and reduces the maintenance cost tomorrow. So I hope you like this. Thank you so much.